everybody. Congratulations. You can all take a seat. We'll get started. So I want to welcome everyone. Welcome students and your family and friends who are both here in person and online to celebrate this important day with you. We're so glad that you're all here. Welcome Dean Compton, Dr. Tostison, all of our TDI faculty who are here with us or online, our education team and staff who are also here with us and online. This is the first time we've done a dual in-person and virtual class day, so we might experience some glitches, but we're all in to celebrate the hard work and the accomplishments of all of our graduates. So we'll roll with it. We have a packed agenda, but before we get into the celebrations, I want to take a moment to recognize what's happening in the world because it provides some context for what all of us who are committed to public health are facing in real time. We're still experiencing a global infectious disease pandemic that has killed millions of people and caused immense additional harm, including mental health pain due to feelings of isolation, to the world economy, by throwing our daily routines, such as attending in-person classes, into chaos. And COVID-19 has disproportionately impacted our most vulnerable populations, making our work in public health more important than ever. It's also important to call attention to the pain and the fear and the anger of the brave people who are rising up against systemic racism that has stained our country for hundreds of years. And make no mistake, racism is a public health problem. At TDI, you've learned how to interpret and use evidence, how to analyze systems, and how to participate as change agents. So I challenge you to use the skills and the talents you've refined at Dartmouth to take a stand and actively lead efforts to end it. You're also ready to address the underlying fundamental population health issues that lead to indefensible health disparities due to drivers such as inadequate access to housing, education, food, and health care. It won't be easy, and change takes time, but you are prepared to be leaders as you work on solutions. Now, before I introduce our guest speaker, I want to say that we will never forget this group of passionate, engaged graduates who contributed so much to our community while they are in Hanover and also online. For the entire year, we had 2 virtual programs going. You are poised and ready to continue making the world a better place. And you certainly have made TDI a better place in the process. On behalf of all of us at TDI, thank you. Now, you turn your attention to the jumbotrons. They're going to show that last little bit in slow motion. We're going to zoom in. That was a joke. I'm really pleased to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Jocelyn Carter, whose speech was recorded and is going to be on the jumbotron. Dr. Carter is clinically prepared in internal medicine and preventive medicine. After completing her internal medicine and leadership preventive medicine residency training at Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center and her MPH at TDI, Dr. Carter joined the faculty at Massachusetts General Hospital and Harvard Medical School, where she provides clinical care, supervises trainees, and conducts outcomes research. As a clinician scientist at MGH and a practicing internal medicine hospitalist with the Division of General Internal Medicine at MGH, Dr. Carter's primary research includes studying patient-centered interventions that improve health outcomes for vulnerable patients with serious illness. Dr. Carter is particularly interested in population health initiatives and care delivery models that leverage technology while promoting prevention. She serves as director of the Community Care Transitions Initiative, linking patients at high risk for hospital readmission with community health workers focused on closing gaps in care driven by social determinants of health. Dr. Carter is the Director of Research Equity for the Division of Internal Medicine and Manager of Trainee Affairs for the MGH Center for Diversity and Inclusion. She enjoys serving on an MGH Department of Medicine Internship Selection Committee and as a professional coach for residents and fellows within the Department of Medicine. Dr. Carter is a member of the Dartmouth-Hitchcock Leadership Preventive Medicine Residency Advisory Committee, the Contemporary Trials Editorial Board, and the ABIM's American Board of Preventive Medicine Public Health Committee. She is also a member of the TDI faculty, co-instructing PH 117, Continual Improvement in Healthcare, last fall. Turn it over to Dr. Carter on the Jumbotron.
Hello, I'm so honored to be chosen as one of the Dartmouth Institute's Class Day speakers this year. I want to thank the TDI graduating class of 2021, as well as the academic and administrative backbone that makes TDI what it is. Special thanks to Craig Ressling, Courtney Thoreau, and my longtime mentor, Dr. Tina Foster, for allowing me to join the ranks of this year's roster of excellent instructors. Being a part of this celebration really takes me back to some of my earlier days. In fact, I can still remember learning about the TDI Master in Public Health program as an internal medicine resident at Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center. I quickly became educated on how trainees entering through the DHMC's Leadership in Preventive Medicine Residency, or LPMR, were awarded a spot in the MPH class at TDI. As a person who's always been captivated by the way we pay for, structure, and deliver healthcare here in the United States, I was no doubt eager to apply. And on mentioning some of these details to my parents, I can still remember their response. So you really think that you want another degree? How will this help you? Of course, what I knew then, and what I certainly can testify to now, is that the Dartmouth Institute is not a place where you just get another degree. It's a learning lab for scholars developing toolkits that will prepare them to change the way we deliver care, create policy, develop best practice, structure payment, and do research. It's also a place where the seedlings of improvement and culture change, based on truth and data, of course, are born and can change the way that people think and interact with all things related to healthcare. For me personally, it was an entirely unique educational experience, mostly because we as learners were encouraged to bridge the academic fundamentals of epidemiology, public health, quantitative and qualitative analytics with innovative solutions. And this was far away from the traditional educational methods that I had been mostly exposed to. The combination of practical and integrated learning experiences filled an important void for me that was fundamental to my personal and professional development in healthcare. And I learned a few incredibly important things along the way. One was to be bold with my ideas, and I encourage you to do the same. This can be more challenging than you would think, particularly if you choose to join the ranks at a large and time-honored institution. And I'm talking about myself here. And when you hear no, and you will, always ask yourself and think why. And also remember to think about the problem that you're trying to solve, stakeholders who are involved, and what would be needed to change things moving forward. Another thing is to have confidence in your own ability and what you bring to the table. You may not fully realize it now, but each of you are uniquely positioned to rethink, create, and implement more efficient, more effective, and more inclusive ways of structuring healthcare. I think about my own path in developing a community health worker initiative for patients with a history of 30-day readmission as they were leaving the hospital. And while community health work is nothing new, basing the specifics of this intervention on over 800 patient experience survey responses certainly aided in producing novel and successful outcomes. This brings me to my next point, which is do not be afraid to ask for what you want. When you've done your homework, analyzed the data, and you're fully prepared to pitch that excellent idea to leaders or your peers, worry less about whether your approach is different from others and more about how you and your idea can add value. This is particularly true when it comes to applying for jobs throughout your career. When I graduated just 10 years ago, none of the cool clinician educator jobs that I wanted, that of course had protected time for research and innovation, none of those jobs were being advertised at MGH at the time. So I just applied for a job in the same department that was nothing close to what I wanted. Matter of fact, it was the opposite of what I wanted. However, when I was contacted for that interview, I was told that there were, in fact, several other positions available, and one of which ended up being my dream job. And here I stand today. So it's okay to take the leap. Sometimes even great leaders won't know what they want or what they really need until they see it. Another thing is to take inventory of your values as often as you can, especially in this rapidly changing environment where high quality, lower cost care is being identified as the only way forward. Knowing what you are most interested in and passionate about will be key. There are an abundance of opportunities for redesign of traditional ways of doing things, whether this is through joining established enterprises or creating and pursuing new entrepreneurship. Your time here at TDI has likely fueled a heavy dose of curiosity, and each of you will be spending the next part of your journeys piloting interventions or policy to help you answer those questions. And as you do, remember, investing in your mentors is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. You may have phenomenal ideas and strategies about ways to improve process or outcomes and no clue about how to get there. That's fine. And this is really where mentors come in. So many of us underutilize the mentorship that we have at our fingertips when it comes to making decisions about career, leadership opportunities, work-life balance, family. By keeping in contact with those that have lived experience accumulated over the years, you can maintain a network or board of directors, if you will, that you can tap into and many times be nourished by. The mentors that you're closest to will, and in some cases, should change over time. And this will depend on your focus. This is a good thing. And it can propel you further and faster. These are all time-tested and fundamental pieces that can be applied in any setting, but make no mistake, this has been a year like none other for so many different reasons. And the fact that you are now at this milestone of graduation, you have arrived. This means that you've survived and even thrived despite it all. Don't even get me started on overcoming the technical glitches of virtual learning. But let's not forget that this was all spurred by a viral pandemic that has taken the lives of so many of our patients and families and simultaneously challenged healthcare in unimaginable ways. It has also slowed the world down just long enough to witness the continuation of historical oppression of people of color in high relief, unfiltered police violence against unarmed Black humans, and racially motivated killings of those of Asian descent. And this has all been followed by global protest, as well as calculated and robust strategic planning. I can tell you that organizations here and across the world, particularly our local healthcare institutions, have been examining current state and taking action. Everyone is looking within. Please leverage the knowledge and skills that you've gained here. You are empowered and you are ready to contribute to the broader mission of improvement. And again, congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. I hope you're watching. Now it's time to introduce the two student speakers for the afternoon. But first, let me give you a little background about the Student Speaker Honor. The honor was established in 2006, and student speakers are selected each year by their peers for this honor. We have two Class Day student speakers this year, one representing the on-campus programs and one representing the hybrid MPH program. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce our hybrid program student speaker, Dr. Ryan Hassan. Ryan, can you make your way up? Dr. Hassan is a thoracic surgeon and assistant professor of surgery at Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center and the Geisel School of Medicine at Dartmouth. She was born and raised in Southern California and completed her undergraduate degree at the University of California, Berkeley. She completed medical school at the Keck School of Medicine at USC and moved to Boston for her general surgery training at Brigham and Women's Hospital. She completed her cardiothoracic residency at The Ohio State University and additional training in thoracic surgery at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. She joined the Dartmouth faculty at Dartmouth Hitchcock in August of 2018. Her drive for health equity stems from the health disparities present in her own family, as two of her grandparents died of smoking-related diseases. Early in her career, their illnesses piqued her desire to study preventative mechanisms. Today, as a practicing thoracic surgeon, she is motivated to eliminate disparities in lung cancer screening and identify racial and ethnic disparities in surgery to increase the inclusion of underrepresented groups. As such, she serves as a leading mentor for medical students interested in surgery at the Geisel School of Medicine. She explained to me that her hope going forward is that medical students of color will face fewer challenges and have more representative role models so that they too can become successful medical professionals and increase the diversity of our workforce. To promote a healthy work balance, in her spare time, she enjoys international clinical experiences, having served in Rwanda, Ecuador, and Costa Rica. She also enjoys cooking and spending time with family and friends. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Hassan as your hybrid MPH student speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Wessling, Dean Compton, and Dr. Tosteson. Good afternoon, everyone. We made it. I would like to start by giving all thanks and honor to God who has brought us to this point. This has been such a trying year for the world, to say the least, and words cannot express how proud I am to see us make it to the other side. Needless to say, I'm so looking forward to what the future has in store for us. On behalf of the class, I would like to thank our esteemed faculty and teaching assistants who have provided us with an education that will enable us to be the levers to drive change in the future. Your patience and dedication to our learning was so very appreciated during times when we didn't even think we could make it to the next Sunday assignment, much less to the next module. You never stopped teaching or believing in us, and for that we are extremely grateful. To the rest of the administrative staff, our leaders, and technical support team that made completion of this journey possible, whether it's through the constant and much appreciated reminders, help in facilitating projects, or overall support when we truly needed it the most, we thank you for your consistent availability and true dedication put forth in the name of learning. To our APE and IL preceptors, thank you for helping us see our projects to the finish line. You all saw our dreams, even bigger and better than what we had thought we saw them for ourselves, and help us to turn our projects into a reality, while also demonstrating that the sky is the limit for whatever it is we want to achieve in healthcare transformation. To our families and friends who are either here in person or watching from home, thank you for your tireless devotion to making this journey a success. Whether it was the patience you demonstrated when class and homework limited our Thursday and Sunday night availability, to your flexibility with allowing us space needed to meet our constant deadlines, or just lending your support when we thought the demands of epidemiology, stata, and biostats pushed us to our limits. We are also grateful for your endless love and encouragement. Thank you to science, which has made the ability to congregate a reality again, who enabled me to hug my parents after being separated for 18 months, and for protecting them from the former COVID-19 hotbed of Southern California with the receipt of their vaccines. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank my fellow classmates. You are all the true MVPs. I cannot thank you enough for your honesty, perseverance, dedication, and ability to adapt to the 2 years that we have been through. And boy, what a last year and a half it has been. When our journey started on our first on campus almost 2 years ago, I was immediately impressed by the course content, outline for the 2 years, and quality and topics of instruction. The bonding activities such as the scavenger hunt were much appreciated and provided a nice icebreaker for the team building skills we would need to draw on for our future assignments. However, I was even more impressed by listening to each of your stories, your backgrounds, the things that made you tick, your why, and your ultimate reasons for wanting to drive change. I was struck by the willingness of our class to develop a level of comfort with each other that fostered our ability to share our experiences, both deep and personal, and proved to be the kindle needed to create the necessary bonds for the harrowing months to come. During the winter break on campus, this bond was strengthened even more, so by the increase in coursework, which carried on into the early months of 2020. While I know I personally thought if I could just make it through Epi and Biostats, I could do this, we're home free, the world thought otherwise and said, hold my drink, I've got something up my sleeve. I will never forget the somber tone of the March intensive, the irony of our class attempting to obtain a public health degree during a worldwide once-in-a-century pandemic was not lost on me, and while we struggled to take in all of the new information, little did we know what exactly was in store, or the heartbreak and loss we would experience. During the next 14 months, we would go on to see over 174 million people get infected with COVID-19 worldwide, and 3.7 million people go on to die. We were forced to see the ugliness of disparities in medicine and public health that were fully displayed through a real-life example with no training, and we would eventually see communities ravaged and families torn apart while experiencing our own isolation, loneliness, and despair. To compound this loss, social inequities and the systemically racist policies that have been in place for many years in our country and drive many of the health disparities we appreciate in healthcare were also revealed as the nation became so divided, but then strangely united, as we could no longer look away while our brothers and sisters, including George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor, were murdered on a public stage. And yet, despite these events, we carried on, and so did the rest of the world, including science. We protested for social justice, and we used our voices to call out racism. Health and educational institutions started to take a hard look at the good old days to review just how good they were in terms of promoting and encouraging diversity, equity, and inclusion, traits so woefully needed in today's era, given the changing demographic of the United States, to see how they could do better. We still have a lot of work to do. Most vividly, though, science took a chance on a heavily studied mRNA model, and before you know it, we had a vaccine. As some of you may know, but many of you don't, my husband and I are anxiously expecting a son in November. My own vulnerability to become a public health statistic became a reality for me 5 months ago as I reviewed the staggering statistics surrounding Black maternal morbidity and mortality in the US when choosing an obstetrician. This point in my life has been both an exciting and terrifying time for me as I realized that my experiences with race, public health, and the intersectionality of being a Black woman married to a Black man who are awaiting the birth of their Black son in a Eurocentric society have been blatantly tangible. Part of me struggles to resist the urge to fear for the life of my husband every time that he leaves the house, or for my future son when the day comes when he wants to get a bag of Skittles from the corner store, take a walk in the park, or even pick up random habits like bird watching, given the regard to Black boys and men in the America as of late. Even more so, I think about my own possible mortality as a Black mother, given the horrifying maternal morbidity and mortality statistics that we know today, despite us being one of the wealthiest countries in the world. According to the New York Times, the US is one of only 13 countries in the world whose rates of maternal mortality are now worse than they were 25 years ago. As an expectant Black mother, it is hard to review the grim numbers that describe the way in which our public health system fails to protect Black moms in our society. The CDC estimates approximately 700 to 900 Black maternal deaths occur in the United States each year, in addition to more than 50,000 potentially preventable near deaths. These numbers represent a 200% increase over the last reported period ending in 2014, and current rates are estimated to be even higher. The CDC also states, and the New York Times reports, Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than their white counterparts, which is a rate that is even worse than countries where more than half the population lives in poverty. I further know that despite the long list of accolades that Craig just read off, I won't read them again, that research shows my education or future income offers little protection to these injustices, as we bore witness to this fact during the recent childbirth experiences shared by Serena Williams. In fact, according to the CDC, a Black woman with an advanced degree is more likely to lose either her life or that of her baby than a white woman with less than an 8th grade education in this country. When it comes to Black infant mortality, the numbers are no better. According to the CDC, Black babies are more than twice as likely to die as white infants at a rate of 11.3 per thousand compared to 4.9 per thousand. As the New York Times astutely pointed out, this disparity is actually wider than what it was in 1850, which was 15 years before the end of slavery in the United States, when most Black women were considered to be claimed as the personal property of another person. And when it finally comes to the mortality statistics for our Black men, the numbers are even more dire. In addition to the health disparities and shorter lifespans, according to Edwards et al. In the reporting of the risk of being killed by police use of force in the United States by age, race, ethnicity, and sex, published in PNAS in 2019, over their life course, approximately 1 in every 1,000 Black men can expect to be killed by the police. This peaks between the years of 20 and 35 years, and for young men of color overall, police use of force is among the leading causes of death. In all honesty, these statistics haunt me in my day-to-day interactions and sometimes keep me up at night more times than I wish to admit. However, when I look around this arena and think about all of us having reached this milestone, I do find relief for multiple reasons. First, I am relieved to know that I am protected by my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who has brought myself and our class through a stressful but truly educational 2 years and has so many brighter things in store for us. Second, I am inspired by the hunger within all of us to learn, by our desire to show up and show out and go out into this world and consistently make a difference. We were all doing this before we matriculated to TDI, whether it was through Parminder Deo's reporting of health disparities, to Cecilia Wu's ability to help patients recover from physical setbacks, to Tekla Coleman's ability to increase awareness on the nutrition front, to Aaron George's ability to deliver trauma-informed care to young women of color. Today and every day, I will celebrate the fact that each and every one of us has even more tools to continue on this journey and we are not afraid to use them. I will further celebrate the fact that even though we have made it over this hurdle and have lived these experiences, we realize that true learning is a never-ending process that builds on previous knowledge. The safety and protection of our families, our patients, and public health as a whole is grounded by the fact that learning is not only a perpetual process that was built upon the basic foundation that we have received here, it is a process that will not only improve with time, in addition to the use, but it will also be helped by the use of innovation, creativity, and the continued desire to be open to new ideas. Furthermore, the necessary willingness to constantly push the envelope and develop new ideas is the reason why over 2.2 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have been developed and distributed, and why we are slowly making it to the other side. I will lastly celebrate that the field of public health has in turn come to realize that the disparities that exist are deeply rooted in the systematic frameworks of many aspects of our society. While their history is deep and far-reaching, their course is reversible if we can inspire each other to educate ourselves about the past so that we are less likely to repeat it in the future. The field is starting to recognize that my life matters, along with those of my Black, Brown, Asian, Native American, less abled, economically disadvantaged, food insecure, and LGBTQIA+ brothers and sisters, to name a few. As a class, we have explored the full spectrum of public health, from health policy, ethics, environmental concerns, leading change, health economics, quality improvement, the ability to problem solve, and the power of anchor institutions to become leading pillars in our communities. It is now time to put this skill set to work to make this world a safer place for all of us. So to the class of 2021, especially us hybrid folks, I encourage you to stand tall as you leave this commencement today, for it is truly only the beginning of your journey towards becoming a change maker. Know that you are armed with the knowledge needed to go out into this world and have a seat at the table where the transformations are occurring and where decisions are being made. While we must never forget the darkness that we came from and that some of us still live in, I encourage you to be the light, because at the end of the day, it takes only one spark to create the fire that changes the world. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Ryan. Now I'm delighted to introduce our second student speaker of the day, who's representing the on-campus programs, Edgar Ituni Ngono. Edgar, could you please make your way up to the stage? Edgar moved to the United States from Cameroon at the age of 13 and was raised in Rockville, Maryland. He came to Dartmouth after receiving a degree in medical anthropology from the University of Maryland at College Park, and is the residential MPH cohort's class vice president. Before aiming for a career in medicine and public health, Edgar worked as a healthcare administrator and optician, helping manage several medical practices for almost a decade. This experience is what led him to become more involved in community health policy as an advocate. Edgar is an avid snowboarder and holds a second-degree black belt in judo. When he is not studying or doing clinical research, he volunteers at a studio in West Lebanon teaching martial arts to youth. Please join me in welcoming Edgar.
Thank you for the introduction, Dr. Wessling. And thank you, Dr. Carter and Dr. Hassan, for your messages. I appreciate and will do my best to embrace the immense pressure that comes with having to speak after both of you. Dean Compton, Dr. Tosserson, Dartmouth Institute faculty and staff, dear friends and family, and most importantly, to my exceptional classmates, both the hybrid and the residential TDI class of 2001, congratulations on your achievements. It has been an honor to serve you as student leader and to be able to speak to you today. Although this address would have been significantly less nerve-wracking on Zoom, I'm extremely humbled by the nomination to do this in person. I must again acknowledge all those who are sharing this moment with us, the ones who made it here today, and those watching online from various parts of the world. Your support and that of our distinguished faculty and staff is why we have made it this far. Thank you. Today, we celebrate arguably the most important graduate degree in the world. If there's anything we've learned from the past 15 months, is that public health professionals are needed now more than ever. So I commend you all for choosing this field. As we graduate, though, I will definitely miss the clout and admiration that came with telling people that you were studying for a degree in public health during a pandemic. I'm sure many of you now, classmates, are used to folks telling you, wow, what an unbelievable time to be studying public health. For once, it's been great to see so many people acknowledge the importance of a public health education. So here we are on a glorious June afternoon after a very long New England winter. We came to Dartmouth not knowing much about each other, but now I'm sure we know each other maybe a little too well. But we all brought different motivations for meeting here, and each of our journeys are unique and valuable to us. So I'd like to take a minute to share some of my journey with you. Just out of curiosity, for those present here today, with a quick show of raised hands, how many of us here were either born outside the US or have family members who were born outside this country's borders? I'm just curious. Wow, that's actually more folks than I thought. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. As an immigrant myself, I always wonder about the number of people who can relate to that experience. You see, I moved to this country from Cameroon at 13, 4 years after losing my dad to lung cancer. I moved here with my mother and 2 younger siblings, landing at JFK Airport in New York City with 2 suitcases and a couple $100 to our names, exactly 1 month before the 2001 September 11th attack. My life changed again just 10 months later when I lost my dear mother to a brain tumor. Her death shook me to my core. I was a month shy of my 14th birthday, and we were literally in the middle of immigration proceedings. Anyone who has ever immigrated to the US knows how dehumanizing and exhausting the process can be. Unfortunately for me, about a year after she died, I became an undocumented immigrant. At that point, higher education was the last thing on my mind. The goal was just to survive. I spent years without ever setting foot in a doctor's office, knowing that with no medical insurance or money, I had no business getting ill if I couldn't pay the bill. Despite these challenges, however, I have also experienced firsthand the benefits of sound public health policy. Thanks to states like Maryland, where I grew up, offering lower tuition to immigrant children raised there. I was able to work my way up through a community college and pursue an undergraduate degree at a reasonable rate. In addition, as a student at the University of Maryland, I witnessed there a student healthcare plan that was accessible and of excellent quality. Thanks to DACA's passing in 2012, I was also able to work legally in this country and pay taxes like everyone else. But there are many days where I do feel a sense of guilt, because for every person like me who makes it on this stage, there are countless others living in the shadows, likely without access to health care, simply waiting for an opportunity to participate meaningfully towards the betterment of this country. When the pandemic hit us all last year, many of us had our immediate plans totally disrupted. The COVID-19 crisis exposed and exacerbated the inequities within the US healthcare system. At the time, I had my mind set on directly pursuing a career in medicine, but I also knew that if the goal was to become the best healthcare provider I could possibly be, I had to learn more about the complex and uneven healthcare system in the US. I knew of no better place to do that than at TDI. So I decided to take a chance and come over here in exchange for an opportunity to be part of the Dartmouth public health legacy and the privilege to bleed green, as Dr. Manish Mishra would say. Throughout my time here at Dartmouth, one of the most significant lessons I've learned, especially from interactions with community members, has been the importance of active listening and receiving feedback with humility. On a recent diversity and equity project I worked on, I asked several female students and staff of color here at Dartmouth and in the area what could be done to make their time here more enjoyable. The overwhelming response was that opening a Dominican hair salon for women with curly hair would be such a game changer in the area. Because no one should have to drive 2 hours to Boston just to get their hair done. This also matters because preventive care in public health often starts with self-care within the community. So to all my Tuck Business School graduates among us that want to put both their MBA and MPH degrees to good use, please shoot me an email or give me a call after this. I'm sure we can find a way to make this happen. So Reed, if you're listening, please. As a final message, I want all of you to know that during this transitional period in our lives, it is perfectly fine to take a break and not know immediately what you are going to do after graduation. Despite what society tells us to do, what you do for a living does not determine your self-worth. Each of you already has so much to offer as the person you are right now. So I invite us all to go forth and be difference makers within our respective communities in whatever way we see fit. As the country continues to recover from this devastating pandemic, our public health expertise is needed now more so than ever before. Thank you, and once again, congratulations to both the hybrid and the in-person residential TDI class of 2021.
Beautiful. Thank you, Edgar. We're honored to have both you and Ryan represent your respective cohorts today. Those are incredible speeches. I know you both will continue to be eloquent spokespersons for public health. We're now going to transition to the awards section of our ceremony. We have several student awards to give out this afternoon, and recipients of some of the awards were selected by their classmates, while others were selected by faculty and staff. This is the first time our award recipients will hear about their being honored. We ask all recipients to stand and be recognized for each award, but please do not come forward. You'll get your award when you come up to get your diploma. And you don't have to stand the whole time. We just want you to stand to get a clap, and then we're going to read some nice stuff about you. I would like to invite Dr. Honor Passo to give the first award. She is the Director of Academic Affairs.
Thank you, Craig. I'm Honor Passo, the Director of Academic Affairs, and in this role, I help shape the curriculum for both programs. I know how rigorous the programs are that you have just completed. And I must say, how glorious is it that we can be here today to gather, those of you sitting here and the ones who are joining us on Zoom. Our first award this afternoon is the Henry Masters Award. This award was established in 2010 in memory of Henry Masters, one of our students, who died unexpectedly of complications from the H1N1 virus near the end of his second term at TDI. I was there at the first day after his passing when we met as a class, and I remember him well. This award was created with the blessings of TDI's faculty and staff, Henry's class of 2010 classmates, and his family. The award honors Henry's spirit and passion for improving health and healthcare and making a lasting difference, especially for underserved populations. Each graduating class selects one of its classmates to receive the award, to honor that student as someone who continues to carry Henry's torch. For Henry's parents, Jeff and Lucy Masters, and for those of us who knew Henry, this day of celebration is also a day of remembrance. Jeff and Lucy Masters offered thoughts to share. Class Day feels especially poignant this year as your class navigates another public health crisis. Henry had a remarkable capacity to synthesize complexity for good. He also had a big, booming voice that needed no microphone. Use yours at whatever volume it takes, and his work continues. This year we have 2 recipients, one from the on-campus programs and one from the hybrid program. The on-campus program's recipient of this year's Henry Masters Award, as selected by his classmates, is Edgar Gono. Like Henry Masters, for whom this award is named, Edgar's classmates describe him as humble, smart, caring, dedicated, and passionate. Edgar has been a light to his classmates and our community during a difficult and at times distanced year, in which he always found a way to make a difference and helped us to be better as a community by elevating our conversations, thinking, and spirits, but also grounding us through his deep concern for the disadvantaged and those vulnerable in healthcare and society more broadly. Edgar's humble yet determined spirit were integral to creating a sense of team and community for his cohort and the TDI community at large. And he showed an ability to bring people together throughout the year as vice president of the SAC and in classes where he frequently was the first to share and be present in difficult conversations. Not only did he show caring with his words, but also by his example of never missing a community discussion, interviewing prospective faculty members, engaging in town hall meetings on equity and social justice, and encouraging his fellow students to join volunteer efforts in which he was involved. Edgar is a light in our community and will certainly continue to bring his unique warmth to whatever lucky community he is part. Congratulations, Edgar, on this special award. The hybrid program's recipient of this year's Henry Masters Award, as selected by her classmates, is Cecilia Wu. Although I cannot see it, I believe that Cecilia's picture should be on the Jumbotron. All right, it is. Thank you. I would also like to provide a few words about Cecilia from some of her classmates, all of whom said that Cecilia perfectly embodies the spirit of this award. Cecilia has a strong sense of justice and fairness in everything she does, combined with her deep compassion and strong drive to help people, especially the elderly. She makes for a really amazing healthcare professional, colleague, and friend. We have known her as a daughter, a sister, a friend, a wife, and above all, an incredible mother to her son, Theo. Through the many ups and downs this past year, Cecilia remained a pillar of strength for many of us. We are amazed at her perseverance, humility, kindness, and generosity. We are very fortunate to have met and known the bright, witty, sometimes sarcastic, but always a positive soul, Cecilia Wu. Congratulations, Edgar and Cecilia, and thank you again, Lucy and Jeff, for virtually joining us today to honor Henry's legacy. To present the next award, I'd like to turn this over to Megan Reed.
Thank you, Honor. Hi, everyone. I'm Megan Reed, the Hybrid Program Manager, and I'm honored to present the first TDI Leadership Award of the day, which is given to the student who best exemplifies the following attributes: contributes positively to the creation of a community of learners among students and faculty, has the leadership capability to foster and encourage an organizational culture focused on delivering high-quality care and achieving exemplary patient satisfaction, inspires others to promote and maintain a positive work environment. The recipient of this award in each program is selected by faculty and staff who have worked closely with the students over the course of their time in the programs. For the hybrid program, the 2021 Leadership Award goes to Parminder Deo. Congratulations, Parminder. I'm going to share a few comments about Parminder from some of our faculty and staff. Parminder has been a steadfast leader in the hybrid MPH program throughout his time here. He is the class-selected president of the Student Advisory Council, where in this role, he led and organized formal and informal events for his class. Parminder is frequently the first student who asks a question during class, begins a discussion, fills the quiet space when no other student responds to a question, and he often stays online after Zoom calls to chat, check in, and clarify content. Parminder is a continual standout who helps everyone feel connected and engaged. He adds a personable component to our online-only interactions. His energy and his positivity are apparent in every interaction. These are all great qualities in a leader, and I suspect he will continue to both seek out and deserve future leadership roles after his time at TDI. Congratulations again, Parminder. Now I'd like to ask Roland Lamb to the podium to present the TDI Leadership Award for the on-campus program.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Roland Lamb, on-campus programs manager. I'm honored to present the TDI Leadership Award for the on-campus programs to Corey Rice. Congratulations, Corey. Let me share a few comments about Corey from some of our faculty and staff. This was a year when leadership was greatly needed, more than any year in recent memory. And Corey was able to bring students, faculty, and staff together in order to create a community that, while separated by location, time, and technology, was not separated in their sense of belonging to shared purpose. As one of her professors put it, Corey inspired others to promote and maintain a positive work environment by encouraging students in class and also through her role as president of the SAC. In a year when many of us have never met in person, Corey helped to create a learning environment and community of openness, caring, fairness, and determination to seek equity in health at a time that our classroom discussions were in newspaper headlines around the world and discussed on our local streets. As her classmates note, Corey has worked tirelessly throughout the school year to ensure that our whole class is treated fairly. She has tried her best to create an equitable environment for all. She is engaged in difficult conversations with peers and has voiced time and time again the importance of giving back to the surrounding community. So Corey, from all of us, thank you for leading us through a difficult year, keeping us focused on our important work, and for building a community where everyone could feel comfortable to engage, be heard, and feel a part of something larger than themselves. Congratulations, Corey. We are so grateful for both your and Parminder's contributions to our TDI family. Now I'd like to ask Dr. Elkadev to the podium to present the Social Justice Award.
Hi, everyone. So nice to have met so many of you in person today. Since I taught both in the residential program and in the hybrid program, it's just been a real joy to have had each one of you in at least one of my courses this year. And as an assistant professor of health equity and the first TDI social justice curriculum coordinator, I'm honored to present this year's inaugural TDI Social Justice Award, although I should say awards, because there will be several of you receiving these today. During this year's Class Day ceremony, we're starting this new tradition of recognizing students who are improving public health and healthcare delivery by acting and actively engaging in social justice issues to promote equity, peace, and justice. I like those three words, equity, peace, and justice, and hold them very close to my heart. These are qualities TDI values highly in its students, and many of you have shown leadership and dedication to bringing a more equal, peaceful, and just community, country, and world. The field of public health is in need of ambassadors of equity and agents for change. This year's awardees have demonstrated a passion and ability to be these change agents during their time at TDI. We would like to recognize these students individually and also note that the intention of this award is to encourage all of you, students and graduates, named and unnamed, to continue to grow in your advocacy for social justice and to become these agents for change beyond your time at TDI and in whatever communities you might work in after graduation. So the 34 recipients of this award were nominated by faculty, staff, and students who have worked closely with the awardees over the course of their time in the programs. I'll start with the on-campus program. And just as with the previous awardees, please stand to get your applause. And we are going in alphabetical order. So we'll start with Mary Arakelian. I don't think Mary's here, but there should be something on the Jumbotron, at least with her name. Dylan Balcom. Hi, Dylan. Jeffrey Crowell. Mark Eid. Datta Sai Sarkar Goli. Timothy Heselton. Tessa Howard. Zion Iverson. Alina Manko. Justice Nagovich. Rupa Nalamothu. Edgar Ngono. Blaise O'Malley. Jacqueline Pogue. Corey Rice. Lisa Ann Ridley. And Jason Stanley. Congratulations. The social justice awardees from the hybrid program for this year are CJ Blomquist, Tekla Coleman, Parminder Deo, Aaron George, Nikki Gewertz, Rebecca Goldberg, Mikara Harvey, Ryan Hassan, Sharmin Hussain, Rebecca Laird, Natalie Martinez, Jenna Murray, Johan Ramulo, Catherine Stokes, Marlu Tenzer, Renee Wolf, and Cecilia Wu. Congratulations to all of you. So we're going to keep going with the awards. And the next awards are for our independent internship, integrated learning experiences, and practicum experiences. So I will now invite Dr. Rebecca Emini to the podium and take my seat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dev. And good afternoon, everybody. It is so wonderful to celebrate you here live in vivo. And for those of you who are on your screens, we have you in our spirits. On behalf of the Independent Internship Teaching Team, that includes our co-director, Dr. Christina Wolf, a wonderful teaching assistant, Laura Ward, and our internship coordinator, Charlotte Beacon, we would like to express our congratulations and gratitude to 29 student interns this spring who have all demonstrated critical thinking and creative personal initiative in their work across local, regional, national, and international sites this spring. Your work has inspired us and made us proud. The purpose of the internship elective is to translate and apply theoretical knowledge and skills gained in the MPH program to real-world public health or clinical practice settings. The volunteer work performed by our interns applied quantitative and qualitative, data-driven, evidence-based methodologies to improve patient and population health that features patient-centered and community engagement approaches. While all the work accomplished by this year's interns is commendable, we would like to acknowledge the work of the following 5 students, and in alphabetical order. This year's internship awards go to Emily Acker. Emily worked at the Loan Institute in Boston, Massachusetts on a project titled The Loan Institute Hospitals Index, Communicating Findings from 2021 Rankings to Communities and Professionals. Secondly, Mary Arakelian. For her work with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development within the Health Division of the Directorate for Employment, Labor, and Social Affairs in Paris, France, Mary worked on a project titled Safety in Numbers, Quantifying Health Worker Perceptions of Patient Safety Culture Across OECD Countries. To Zion Iverson, for her work with the Patient Revolution on a project titled A Careful and Kind Approach to Social Determinants of Health in the Patient Revolution Demonstration Clinic. To Aya Kent, who worked with the Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center Obstetrician and Gynecology Department on the Early and Lasting Connections program to enhance maternity care through telehealth for rural women with substance use disorders. And finally, to Julie Thompson, who worked with the Community Engagement, Environmental Justice, and Health Center at the University of Maryland on a project titled Using Quantitative Data Analytics to Illustrate the Associations Between Air Pollution, Environmental Justice, and Health Outcomes in Maryland. Congratulations to our Independent Internship Award recipients this year, and to each and every one of you in the graduating class of 2021. It is now my great pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Katie Saunders, who will present the Integrated Learning Experience Awards for the on-campus one-year accelerated program. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm Katie Saunders, and I was delighted to be a part of the teaching team for the Integrative Learning Experience, along with Joanna Leonar and John Lurie and Roland Lamb and Charlotte, who are up here as well. The on-campus MPH and MS programs, the Integrated Learning Experience, is the capstone on students' learning, giving them the opportunity to synthesize their learning over the course of the year as independent public health practitioners. Students independently propose, refine, and develop either a grant proposal or a manuscript over the course of 3 terms. This year, our students' projects have ranged from those about microplastics to rural healthcare services to correctional facilities. They've conducted thorough literature reviews, clearly articulated gaps in the literature, developed detailed methods, and many have conducted their own analyses and have final products that are of publication quality. We've watched as they've developed their scientific writing skills and become experts in their own rights on their topics. We are so proud of each of you. On behalf of the MPH and MS Independent Integrated Learning Experience teaching team, I'm delighted to announce this year's award recipients for outstanding achievement in scholarship, collegiality, and peer support during this capstone on your learning this year. Our first award of excellence goes to Amanda Coyle. Amanda's project was titled Urban-Rural Disparities in Child and Adolescent Mental and Behavioral Health in the U.S., a Scoping Review. Congratulations, Amanda. Our second and final award of excellence goes to Lucy Skinner. Lucy's project was entitled Redefining Rurality and Using Hospital Referral Regions to Investigate Rural-Urban Health Outcomes. Congratulations to Amanda and Lucy, and to all of you who were in the Independent Integrative Learning Experience. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Megan Longacre, who will present the Practicum Awards for the hybrid program.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations. I'm very delighted today to present the Practicum Awards in the hybrid program. Our hybrid MPH students complete a combined internship and capstone experience called a Practicum Project, which represents a longitudinal and intensive experience over the course of 4 semesters in the program. Students complete an applied practice experience project with a public health or healthcare organization, and then present this work orally and through a culminating, scholarly, and mentored written product called the Integrative Learning Experience. On behalf of the entire MPH Practicum teaching team, I'm delighted to announce this year's Practicum Award recipients for outstanding achievement in the applied practice of public health. And again, this is in no particular order. Our first award goes to Shannon Buxell. Shannon worked with the Providence St. Joseph Health System Pharmacy Clinical Services and Providence Cancer Institute in Portland, Oregon, on a project called Hazardous Drug Handling in Healthcare Settings, Assessing the Impact of Compliance with New Standards. Our second award goes to Rachel Heitner. Rachel worked with the Center to Advance Palliative Care in New York on a project called A Qualitative Study of Palliative Care Program Online Branding Practices. Next award goes to Angela Ramponi. Angela worked with the Dartmouth Institute on a project called Assessing the Role of the AIM Model on Rural Accountable Care Organization Structural and Care Delivery. Our fourth award of excellence goes to Martha Shepard. There's Martha. Martha worked with the Episodes of Care Office at Vanderbilt University Medical Center on a project titled A Bundle of Joy Without the Bundle of Bills, co-production of a maternity bundle for an employer-based healthcare plan. Our fifth award of excellence goes to Kate Stokes. Kate worked with Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center on a project called Improving Perinatal Care Coordination between the Emergency Department and the Birthing Pavilion at Dartmouth Hitchcock. Our sixth award of excellence goes to Renee Wolf. Renee worked with the Maine Medical Center and Maine Access Immigrant Network in Portland, Maine, on a project called Shifting Paradigms, Lessons Learned from Community Outreach During a Pandemic. And our final award of excellence goes to Cecilia Wu. Cecilia worked with Boston University School of Public Health and Suburban Home Health on a project called Virtual Vestibular Training for Home Health Physical Therapists, a quality improvement project. So congratulations to all of our awardees, and frankly, all of you. The work that you've done this year in public health has just been incredible. And I know you're going to go forth and do that same level of work in your next endeavors. I'd like to now invite Dr. Manish Mishra to announce the inductees to the Delta Omega Honor Society.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Manish Mishra, the Interim Director of Student Affairs, and I'm honored to introduce the 2021 Delta Omega inductees. Delta Omega is the honorary society for graduate students in public health. 4 years ago, we established the Delta Iota chapter, which allows us to induct up to 10% of our graduates. Today, we're inducting graduate students from the class of 2021 who are dedicated to quality in the field of public health. These folks have committed to protect and advance the health of all people. Election to this society is based on outstanding performance, including scholarship, research, community service, and devotion to public health work. I'm honored to read the 12 names from this year's class. From the on-campus program, Mary Erikelian, Charles Burney, Amanda Coyle, Ovia Ganesan, Yang Liu, Blaze O'Malley, Julia Thompson, and Hina Wasim. And from the hybrid program, Parminder Deo, Ryan Hassan, Rachel Heitner, and Rebecca Laird. Congratulations to our newest Delta Omega Honor Society members.
Thank you, Manish, and congratulations to all of our honorees today. We've now reached the time in our program to recognize all of our graduating students. And traditionally, we do this through a hooding ceremony. And this year, our students receive their hoods ahead of time. The color of the hood signifies the institution and the concentration of the degree. For all our hoods, the satin lining represents our institution and is Dartmouth green. You can all bleed Dartmouth green in a few minutes here. For the Doctor of Philosophy, the velvet trim is royal blue, signifying philosophy. For the Master of Public Health, the velvet trim is salmon, signifying public health. And for the Master of Science, the velvet trim is gold, signifying science. We will read each graduating student's name and ask each student to come forward to pause for a photo. So you're going to stand, there's an X right in the center of the stage. You just stand there and look out there, you'll have a photo. then continue across the stage to receive your diploma. So you're going to come up and go this way. These photos will be made available to the graduating students, so everyone please stay seated while we award their diplomas. We place tubes under each chair, so please use the tubes to protect your diploma when you get back to your seat. Class marshals and students, please rise and begin your journey towards the stage. I will now ask Roland Lamb and Megan Reed to come forward to read the names of our graduating students, and Dr. Tossison and Dean Compton to join me in congratulating the students as they come forward to award the diplomas.
Jennifer Lee Murray. Is it on? Jennifer Lee Murray. I'm vertically challenged, sorry. Jennifer Lee Murray. Jared Ashby. CJ Blomquist. Rebecca Brandis. Shannon Buxell. Parminder Deo. Lauren Ferreira. Marjorie Gewers. Makaira Harvey. Wakas Hassan. Renee Hassan. Ryan, oh my gosh. Ryan Hassan. Your name was called a lot today, so. Rachel Heitner. Anastasia Kanishiva. Rebecca Laird. Jamie Lau. Natalie Martinez. Morgan Masnick. Tatiana Zusin Morton. Jason Prignoli. Johan Paulo Ramilo. Martha Shepard. Brody Stara. Catherine Olivia Stokes. Marlou Tanzer. Please join me in congratulating the hybrid MPH graduates. And while we wish that all graduates could experience the excitement of walking across the stage to be awarded their diploma, a few students were unable to make it in person. We will recognize these graduates through photos. Emily Burke. Tekla Coleman. Nicholas Frank Cretan. Aaron George. Charmine Hossein. Rachel Lee Hugo. Andrew Arthur Matz. Vincent Gordon Nelson. Sarah E. Probst. Angela Rose Ramponi. Jemima Tennant. Garrett Thomas Wasp. Renee S. Wolf. Cecilia Wu. Also, Adam Dion.
Please help me to congratulate our PhD graduate, Curtis Peterson. Next, please help me celebrate our on-campus MPH and MS graduates. Corey Rice. Mark Arun Abel. Emily Acker. Evans Collins Amoa. Trey Air III. Dylan James Belcom. Amy Lynn Bordonia. Ryan Elizabeth Lee Chen. Jacqueline C.M. Copper. Jeffrey R. Crowell. Noah Benjamin Drazen. Edgar Lionel Itundi Gono. Data Sai Sarkar Goli. Reed Hansen. Timothy M. Heselton. Philip Hessian. Tessa Ann Howard. Zion Ali Iverson. Kavita Kuntamneni. Isabella Andrews Kent. Danielle Nicole Mackey. Alina Lucy Manco. Justice Matthew Nagovich. Abhinav Nair. Rupa Nalamothu. Blaze Yasmin O'Malley. Jacqueline A. Pogue. Edward Rigo. Lisa Ann C. Ridley. Martin Gerardo Robles Magana. Jason Mills Stanley. Gada S. Swissy. Carly Rosalie Sykes. Julia Thompson. Max Vogt. Hina Wasim. Chloe Nicole Wilcox. Christopher Wong. Finally, join me in congratulating our on-campus MPH and MS graduates unable to attend in person. Mary Arakelian. David Richard Brown. Charles Peckham Burney. Sagar Bhutan. Emma Considine. Courtney Rochelle Corbeil. Amanda Colleen Coyle. Mark Anthony Eid. Ovia Ganesan. Michael Raymond Goggins. Elijah Dean Huang. Bruce C. Jobsey. Amir Sadruddin Kazazi. Imad S. Khan. Zoanne A.M. Khan. Arleo Samuel LaRoque. Yang Lu. Paul Walker Metter York. Tamor M. Neem. Haley Bridget Reedy. Julia J. L. Raziel. Holly Marie Reynolds. Bhavina Batukbai Sharma. Lucy E. Skinner. Yongheng Song. Congratulations.
Now we have a message for you from your alumni council president, Dr. John Hood. On the Jumbotron.
My name is John Hood, and I am the Geisel Alumni Council President. I want to wish the Dartmouth Institute class of 2021 a heartfelt congratulations and warm welcome as an alumni. I cannot overstate how impressed I am with all that you have accomplished through one of the most trying and stressful periods on record. It is a testament to your perseverance, your vision, and your passion. I know that what I am about to say will make me sound like a dinosaur, but please indulge me. When I was a surgical intern, I was on a service where we were on call every other night. One evening, I had to perform 5 full admissions after 9 p.m. I completed everything except for one creatinine value, which I had hoped would be back in time for rounds. It was not. During rounds the next morning, the attending went right to the chart, saw no creatinine value, and then proceeded to let me have it in front of the team, stating loudly that I was, quote unquote, trying to sandbag him. And thinking back to that incident, it underscores how insane that type of teaching model is. Why in the world would a patient's surgical outcome be dependent upon the least experienced and most tired member of a team? But that is how we, as a profession, have been trained and educated. You study and succeed as an individual, as a pre-med student, to get into medical school. You study and are expected to succeed on your own merits as an individual throughout medical school. It is ingrained in you as a resident that you, and only you, are responsible for every lab, every radiograph, every nuance and vital signs. Then you get out into practice, and many physicians will feel isolated, alone, and literally feeling solely responsible for the life and death of their patients. This is suboptimal care for patients and for providers. The best possible outcomes are dependent on our collaboration with colleagues and on our sharing of data and technology. It takes an integrated team to ensure optimum patient outcomes. But I know that I am preaching to the most fervent choir on the planet. You all knew this implicitly well before you even applied to TDI. You came here knowing that few other schools in the country would be able to give you the tools that will prepare you as well as TDI would to change the very structure of the medical environment. Sitting here today, every one of you fully realizes that change is dependent upon working hand in hand with multiple entities, including business, design, engineering, social science, government, and mental health. To state that the United States has a healthcare system is a misnomer. What we have, unfortunately, is a fractured, politicized, siloed, proprietary, labyrinthine, Byzantine quagmire that has exacerbated racial and socioeconomic disparities in healthcare delivery. Nothing has laid this bare more clearly than the COVID-19 pandemic. It would be easy to feel overwhelmed and helpless about the future. I do not, though. Knowing that TDI students like yourselves have committed themselves to obtaining the highest ideals possible for healthcare fills me with great hope and great pride. Your graduation from TDI is not the starting point for your potential leadership, though. You began leading the minute you decided to apply to TDI and have been leading all along. On behalf of the alumni, we are thrilled to have you join us. We need you. We want to support you in every way possible, but more importantly, we want to work with you to use the knowledge and wisdom that you have gained here. We wish you all the gratification, purpose, and fulfillment possible throughout your entire careers. We also want you to take good care of yourselves. Be gentle with yourselves. Your personal, physical, and emotional well-being while caring for your patients is critically important. Congratulations, you are all amazing.
All right, congratulations, graduates, you're now alumni. I just have a few things to wrap things up. So when the ceremony is over, we'll exit the stage and walk straight back to the bleachers. And then as we pass you, the first rows will come out and so forth. And we'll go just straight back and have a class picture. The photographer will let you know when everyone's ready. And then following the picture, there'll be a booth set up if you'd like to have an individual portrait taken without your mask on even. I want to thank some people today. I'd like to extend a big thank you to the TDI education team members for organizing today's celebration. It's a huge event with lots of details. And I also would like, if you look around and you see where we are and you see how many people are helping, this is not our typical setup, and it's just been a tremendous team effort. So if you could also give a shout out to the Dartmouth College teams, including conferencing and events, the maintenance crew and the media production team, our photographer. Everybody worked their magic. We didn't even have that many glitches. Today wouldn't be possible without everybody on the team pitching in, so it's a big team effort. I also want to thank the faculty for their commitment to teaching and supporting our students on their journey to becoming leaders in health and healthcare. I want to thank our staff, our education staff, our extended team, and thank you to the families and friends who supported the students during their time in the program and for joining them today to celebrate their accomplishments. And thank you, TDI Class of 2021, for choosing to join us. We wish you many successes in your collective efforts to improve population health and health care. Now, this isn't part of the script, but I did want to let you know, Dr. Tosselson shared with me this morning that all 4 of the candidates that we were recruiting have accepted our offers. And so thank you for the students who were involved in interviewing and helping us bring on people to research health equity at TDI. Want to leave you with some wise words from E.O. Wilson. You are capable of more than you know. Choose a goal that seems right for you and strive to be the best. However hard the path, aim high, behave honorably, prepare to be alone at times, and to endure failure. Persist. The world needs all that you can give. Congratulations to the members of the class of 2021. You're now officially alumni, and we welcome you. Oh yeah, you can flip your tassels.